And I know you request 10 pages of the manuscript with your query. So do you skip the query and just go straight to the pages so that you can have that experience without spoilers?
So everyone reads queries and pages a little bit differently. For me, I very quickly skim the query letter, and mostly I'm looking to see if this is someone I've met or engaged with online before, or if they've submitted to me previously. I'm looking to see if they're previously published, because that, of course, experience plays into what they're looking for from an agent now, if they were previously agented. So I'm looking for like the snapshot facts, but I'm not paying a lot of attention to their description, because I always tell people I can't sell a query letter. I can only sell your manuscript. So if I read the pages and the pages engage me, then I go back and read your query letter in much more detail, and I'm looking then to see how you're talking about the story that you're telling. If you're already signaling to me some of what's important to you about it, some of what your creative process with it has been, who you are, if you have a publishing history, all of those things. If the pages don't engage me, all of that other stuff matters a lot less. And I like a synopsis. My colleagues Holly and Taylor have no interest in synopsis. I like a synopsis because for me, it's a little bit of a map. I use it as a gut check to see, is this story going to go where I think it might go from these 10 pages, or is it, I haven't gotten there yet, but chapter 3, it's going to turn into a completely different kind of story. So for me, it just helps me gauge if the interest that's been sparked is potentially going to continue. I can't always tell that from a synopsis, but I like to have a map when I drive. Some people don't.
Fair enough. And authors, I know I hate synopsis. I
I
hate
know.
writing them. I'm forever looking for somebody that can write my synopsis for me. I will pay you cash money. Just please do it. What separates a good synopsis from a bad synopsis? What information can you give to poor frustrated authors out there who have no idea how to tell their two or 300 page book in a page or two synopsis?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do say it's something I like. It's not a requirement. It's a preference. That said, there's probably an author out there that someday I'm going to wish they had queried me and they skipped me because they went to all the agents who didn't ask for a synopsis first, and one of them signed it. So I'm aware it may work against me at some point. For me, a synopsis, it really is like a map of this is where the story is going. These are the key characters. These are the key plot points and subplots that we're exploring. And I think the most important thing that it's actually telling me, in addition to like what's happening in this story, is it's telling me about the arc of the story. It's telling me how is the story physically, externally going to move from chapter 1 to the ending, what's going to happen in between, and it's telling me how the emotional story is going to unfold. So it's telling me who is the character starting out as, what is their emotional state, and how are they going to change or grow over the course of the story. Who are they going to be at the ending, and how is that different than who they started out as? So it doesn't need to be the catchiest writing you've ever done. I think some people think a synopsis needs to be more like flat copy, where it like grabs you and holds your curiosity, or like it's like a movie trailer voiceover. I don't actually think that's the purpose of a synopsis. That kind of writing, usually the flat copy is written by your editor because they have a little more distance and they're thinking about all those questions of audience that you might not have your brain totally wrapped around yet. So to me, that sort of summarizing for like flashiness is a different kind of writing. I'm not looking for flash in a synopsis. I'm looking for simply telling me what's happening. I'm also not looking for every single story beat. Like, I don't need to know, on the 3rd day he woke up and this happened. And on, the 5th day he went to school, but then he came home at lunch and he decided to change his pants. I don't need every action, but I'm looking for that sense of the arc and what it looks like. And I think a synopsis, I know they're horrible. I mean, I hated writing outlines when I was in school. I was the person who like wrote the paper and then went back and wrote the outline after the fact to turn in to be like, here is the outline that I wrote in advance of writing my paper. I guess what that means is in author terms, I'm a pantser. I do think it can be a useful task, though, for an author to write one, because it does force you to step outside of the story and distill it down and articulate it. And if you are an author whose book has the happy fortune of being published, people are going to continue asking you for the life of that book and beyond, what is your book about? And you need to be able to tell them that. And so a synopsis in some ways is a first step toward distilling your 200 or 300 page or whatever it is story, 80 page, depending on what kind of book it is, 32 page, down to something much simpler. And, you know, to have that quick, snappy, you know, distillation, it's going to be even tighter than that. You know, you're going to end up with like 2 or 3 sentences, but the synopsis is the nice sort of practice first round of that.
That is a beautiful amount of information that anybody suffering the pain of a synopsis should listen to this and heed your advice and